Elizabeth R. Ricker. Brain, an owner's guide. Did you know that your brain generates enough electricity to power a 20-watt light bulb, even at rest? It's true, your brain is the most powerful tool you'll ever own. Except it didn't come with an owner's manual until now. In this blink, you'll discover how to tune your mind like a precision instrument, whether you're aiming to boost memory, regain focus, fight brain fog, or simply understand why your moods shift the way they do. We'll explore what makes your brain uniquely yours and how your daily habits shape its performance. Whether you're chasing peak productivity or looking for more emotional balance, you'll find practical insights to sharpen your mind. Brain Basics. Your brain is a 3-pound marvel sitting inside your skull. It orchestrates everything from your breathing rhythms to your deepest philosophical ponderings. For centuries, philosophers have speculated about what produces our thoughts and emotions, but only in the last few decades have brain imaging and other breakthroughs transformed theories into genuine understanding. Before brain scanners, scientists studied dead brain tissue under microscopes. Everything changed with technologies like EEG in the 1920s, which showed electrical activity in real time, followed by MRI and fMRI scans that reveal which brain parts activate during specific tasks. At its core, your brain operates through an intricate dance of electrical and chemical processes. Neurons, that is, nerve cells in your brain, communicate via electrical signals. These signals race along neurons until reaching a threshold that triggers the release of neurotransmitters. These neurotransmitters include the familiar dopamine, which aids in motivation, and serotonin, which promotes well-being. Neurotransmitters form the chemical language that influences everything from your mood to your capacity for learning and focus. One of the brain's most incredible powers is its ability to change, a superpower known as neuroplasticity. This adaptive ability allows your neural circuits to physically and functionally change in response to experiences, from neurons forming new connections to entire brain regions growing or shrinking in size. While everyday learning involves some neuroplasticity, significant brain reorganization typically requires intense effort. Think London taxi drivers memorizing thousands of streets, or musicians practicing for hours every day to develop their craft. Of course, your brain doesn't work alone. It's deeply connected to your body. The intricate connection between mind and body becomes particularly evident in how your brain handles stress. When facing a threatening situation, your brain orchestrates a multi-stage response. First, the sympathetic nervous system triggers an immediate fight-or-flight reaction, releasing norepinephrine that increases your heart rate and diverts blood to your muscles. Minutes later, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis releases cortisol to sustain the stress response. Once the danger passes, the parasympathetic rest and digest system restores calm by slowing your heart rate and reactivating functions like digestion and immunity. Stress truly isn't all in your head. It involves your entire body. Finally, your brain operates on biological rhythms that can help you optimize your daily performance. The suprachiasmatic nucleus in your hypothalamus acts as your master clock, regulating hormones like melatonin, cortisol, and insulin that control your sleep-wake cycle and alertness. Your chronotype, whether you're an early bird or night owl, determines when you perform best. Early birds excel at detailed mental work in the morning, while night owls hit their stride in the afternoon. Interestingly, creative work benefits from decreased cognitive inhibition, so morning types should tackle creative projects later and evening types earlier. For physical performance requiring power, like weightlifting or sprinting, late afternoon or early evening works best for everyone. Body temperature is higher, muscles are looser, and chemical responses are quickest. Understanding these natural rhythms lets you strategically schedule different activities to match your brain's optimal states throughout the day. Optimizing mental well-being. Your brain influences everything, from how clearly you think to how well you sleep, manage emotions, solve problems, and connect with others. But how often do you stop to ask, how well is it actually working? Take the next few moments to do a quick self-assessment. Can you focus and remember things when needed? Do you feel mentally sharp, emotionally steady and energized most days? Are you sleeping well, eating properly, and staying socially connected? If you answered no to several of these, your brain might need some support. The good news is that you don't need to overhaul your life to feel better. Once you've identified the areas that feel off, small targeted actions can help. For example, if falling asleep is difficult but you're good with routines, try shifting your bedtime 20 minutes earlier. If you're feeling isolated but are usually self-motivated, schedule a daily connection, like a quick call with a friend during a walk. These small shifts add up. Two of the most powerful yet overlooked tools for improving brain function are sleep and hydration. Even mild dehydration can make you foggy, irritable, or forgetful. A simple rule: if your urine isn't pale yellow, it's time to drink more water. Sleep is just as vital. It allows your brain to repair itself, store memories, and regulate mood. When you don't get enough, or your sleep is irregular, your mental sharpness and emotional resilience take a hit. This is especially true for night owls forced into early bird schedules. Social connection matters too. While digital communication is everywhere, many people still feel deeply lonely. And loneliness is a serious risk factor for brain decline. It disrupts emotional balance, weakens memory, and increases long-term cognitive risks. But unlike some health risks, loneliness is surprisingly responsive to small changes. Volunteering, reaching out to an old friend, or joining a group can begin to restore the brain's social circuitry and reverse the damage over time. Another pillar of cognitive health is movement. Exercise increases blood flow to the brain, boosts neurotransmitter levels, and promotes the growth of new neurons. Aerobic activity improves memory and processing speed. Resistance training enhances executive function. Even short bursts of movement, like a brisk 10-minute walk, can produce immediate gains in attention and mental clarity. Over time, regular exercise leads to structural brain changes, including increased grey matter volume in regions responsible for learning and emotion regulation. The bottom line? Your brain is changeable. It adapts to what you do, how you live, and the choices you make. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to pay attention. Small, consistent steps can shift your brain toward greater clarity, calm, and strength. Addressing neurological concerns. The human brain is remarkably expressive, but it doesn't communicate in words. Instead, it sends signals through headaches, foggy thinking, mood shifts, or forgetfulness. These may seem minor, but they can be important early warnings that something deeper is going on. Learning to recognize these signs can help us respond before small issues grow into major challenges. Take headaches. They're among the most common neurological complaints. While the precise mechanisms aren't fully understood, many involve either widening or narrowing of brain blood vessels. Migraines, for instance, are intense headaches linked to neurotransmitter imbalances and changes in brain blood flow. Tension headaches, meanwhile, are often lifestyle-related, stemming from neck tension, poor posture, or stress. Most headaches are harmless, but if one follows an injury or comes with trouble speaking, seeing, or moving, it's a red flag that needs immediate medical attention. The brain also speaks through emotions, which are deeply connected to our ability to focus. Your mood affects how you think and what you notice. A positive mood helps the brain scan the environment broadly and take in more information. A low mood, however, narrows focus and makes concentration harder. This isn't just emotional. It reflects real changes in brain chemistry, especially in areas that control motivation and concentration. And it's a cycle. A poor mood makes it harder to focus, and poor focus drags down your mood. Then there's brain fog, a sluggish state where thoughts feel cloudy and memory stumbles. It can follow poor sleep, periods of stress, or physical fatigue. Dehydration or nutrient deficiency can also cause fog. Brain imaging studies confirm what people report during these foggy states. Activity in key brain regions actually drops. If you're feeling foggy, prioritize sleep, consider mindfulness meditation, and ask your doctor for a general health checkup. On the opposite end of the spectrum is overthinking. Those looping thoughts and constant worries that seem impossible to shut off. These patterns often involve overactive brain areas responsible for planning, threat detection, and memory. While some reflection is healthy, rumination can become draining and disruptive. Strategies like mindfulness, cognitive behavioral therapy, or simple lifestyle shifts, such as cutting back on caffeine and improving sleep, can help break the loop. Of course, not all mental signals come as fog or worry. Some arrive as forgetting. Small lapses at first, then patterns. Forgetting where the keys went is one thing. Forgetting how to make a cup of tea or being unable to retain new information is another. These shifts may indicate cognitive strain that goes beyond normal stress. Doctors can run tests to look for nutritional deficiencies, metabolic issues, or hormonal imbalances. Menopause, for instance, is often accompanied by a temporary decline in memory. The brain speaks in signals, sometimes quiet, sometimes loud. Tuning in early can be a form of care. When you learn to read your mental state the way you'd notice a limp or a cough, you give yourself the best chance to reset before something breaks. Brain-related challenges and neurodiversity. Our brains shape how we learn, feel, focus, and respond to the world. But not all brains work the same way. From neurodevelopmental differences to acquired injuries and degenerative conditions, the landscape of brain-related challenges and neurodiversity is vast and varied. Conditions such as ADHD complicate the conversation around brain challenges. On one hand, ADHD can present real difficulties, struggles with focus, time management, and organisation. On the other hand, those with ADHD often describe states of hyperfocus, intense bursts of attention that can make them especially creative, resilient, or responsive in high-stakes situations. Brain imaging has found that key regions involved in attention and motivation, such as the prefrontal cortex and dopamine pathways, function differently in ADHD. Autism, meanwhile, challenges the notion of a single, correct way to perceive the world. Rather than framing it purely as a disorder, many view autism as part of a broad spectrum of neurodiversity. People on the autism spectrum may show differences in brain connectivity, particularly in regions linked to memory, emotion, and social interaction. They might have intense interests, sensitivity to sound or touch, or difficulty reading social cues. Importantly, research has debunked outdated myths. Autistic people can form loving relationships, communicate meaningfully, and excel in everything from science to art. Learning differences such as dyslexia, dyscalculia, and dysgraphia also reflect atypical brain wiring. While these differences can make reading, math, or handwriting difficult, they often come with compensatory strengths like visual spatial ability or verbal fluency. Mood disorders such as depression and bipolar disorder affect millions globally and illustrate how deeply biology and environment intertwine. People with these conditions often exhibit changes in brain regions related to emotion regulation, sleep, and circadian rhythm. Symptoms may include hopelessness, sleep disruption, or, in the case of bipolar disorder, manic energy spikes. Although the exact causes remain elusive, treatments combining medication, therapy, and lifestyle changes have proven effective. Intriguingly, many great thinkers and artists throughout history, from Virginia Woolf to Michael Phelps, have lived with mood disorders, sparking debate about whether these challenges shaped their achievements. Together, these conditions, among many others, reveal the incredible complexity of the brain. They also underscore the need for compassion, flexibility, and innovation in how we approach brain-related challenges and embrace neurodiversity in all its forms. Peak performance. Picture yourself in the zone. Time slows down, your mind sharpens, and everything clicks. This state, known as flow, isn't random. It's a trainable condition fueled by a powerful method called deliberate practice. Psychologist Kay Anders Ericsson distilled this method into 5 key principles after studying thousands of top performers across dozens of fields. First, instead of practicing what you're already good at, focus on your weaknesses. Improvement comes from stretching your limits, learning from mistakes, and pushing past your comfort zone. Second, set very specific goals. Vague aims like get better at piano won't cut it. A goal like learn this particular Mozart piece gives your brain a clear target and a way to measure progress. Third, practice with full concentration. You can't just casually repeat something while you're distracted. You need to be fully engaged. Ideally, this leads to flow, a state where your skills are just enough to meet the challenge, keeping you absorbed and motivated. Fourth, seek high-quality feedback. A coach, teacher, or mentor can help you see blind spots and guide your next steps. Without feedback, it's easy to reinforce bad habits or waste time on less important skills. Fifth, build a mental model, an internal map of the skill you're learning. Experts don't just react, they anticipate, adjust, and adapt because they've built a strong mental blueprint of their performance. As you continue deliberate practice, you create more opportunities for flow. In a flow state, your brain synchronizes across regions and releases dopamine, making the experience both enjoyable and energizing. The better you get, the easier it becomes to enter flow, creating a loop that drives further growth. To stay focused, try the Pomodoro technique. Work on one task for 25 minutes, then rest for 5. After 4 rounds, take a longer break. Over time, practices like mindfulness meditation can strengthen your attention circuits, making deep focus more accessible. Interestingly, mindfulness also supports creativity. That's because creativity involves multiple brain networks. Your default mode network helps you explore new ideas through daydreaming. Your central executive network sharpens and shapes those ideas. And the salience network manages the switch between the two. Activities like nature walks, meditation, or seeking out new experiences, such as visiting an art exhibit, can activate these networks and spark fresh thinking. The creative breakthroughs that define peak performance emerge from multiple brain networks dancing together. Whether you're learning a new skill, tackling a work project, or nurturing relationships, understanding how your brain operates gives you the power to perform at your best. In this Blink to Brain by Elizabeth R. Ricker, you've learned that your brain is a 3-pound powerhouse running on electrical and chemical signals. From neuroplasticity to brain fog, optimizing it starts with paying attention and implementing consistent practices. Quality sleep, hydration, movement, social connection, and mindfulness can boost your focus, balance your mood, and spark creativity. Whether you're navigating neurodiverse challenges or aiming to perform at your best, it all comes down to listening to your brain and giving it the care it needs. Okay, that's it for this Blink. We hope you enjoyed it. If you can, please take the time to leave us a rating. We always appreciate your feedback. See you soon.